What is up, everyone? It's your girl Tabs here with Keeping Tabs, and welcome back to the podcast. It is episode 16 today. Before we jump into the episode, if you are here from TikTok or you followed me on TikTok before, I have to inform you that currently, right now, my original Keeping Tabs account is suspended or permanently banned for copyrights. I think it's ridiculous. Other people download WWE videos and post them, like, using them in edits or reaction videos all the time. But yeah, I get a stupid one because I took a video with my own phone. I don't know, it's kind of stupid. So I had to make a new TikTok account, so be aware of that. Keeping Tabs 2.0 is the new account, so go check that out if you are a normal TikTok follower of mine. Go check that out for that new daily content. But today's video, we're going to be talking about Saturday night's main event, of course. We have a new World Heavyweight Champ. We're going to talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw, NXT, and SmackDown as well, reviewing this past week. So let's jump on into the drama of WWE. Obviously, Saturday night's main event was last night, so we're going to talk about that first. First match on the card was Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Undisputed Championship. A lot of people really anticipating Drew McIntyre to win here, as that has been kind of what these fans have been wanting for months and months and months. A lot of people are kind of over Cody Rhodes as a babyface. They're over the Cody Rhodes run as champion. I mean, yes, him winning it back from John Cena kind of made sense somehow, some way, but it's just been bland and kind of stale lately, and I thought that putting the title on Drew last night would have been such a good opportunity to really shake up Friday Night SmackDown. But in the end, Cody Rhodes retained. But if you guys missed Friday Night SmackDown, the contract was slightly changed so that the champion, Cody Rhodes, didn't have that normal advantage of, like, if he was disqualified or if he was counted out, he still would have retained even though he lost the match. So going into Saturday night's main event, Cody could not get DQ'd or counted out because he would have lost his championship. So Drew McIntyre making sure that, the ref was counting as much as he could. He was trying to get Cody DQ'd throughout the match. He ended up getting the WWE Championship inside the ring at one point. The ref gets taken out, of course. That's a typical WWE move, getting the ref taken out. So in that moment, I thought Drew was going to win. He was going to somehow take advantage of it. But Drew had the championship in his hands, went to go hit Cody. Cody ducked out the way. Championship falls out of his hands, and as Drew's trying to recover and try to get the championship back to hit Cody in the head, Cody gets him in a headlock, DDT right onto the championship, gets the chip, and then Cody grabs the belt, throws it out the ring as the ref is, of course, coming to in the corner, who didn't see anything. And Cody hits him with the crossroads, gets the 1, 2, 3. Didn't get the best response either from the crowd, it seems like, especially the internet wrestling community. They are very critical of Cody Rhodes and his championship run, especially the second run since getting the championship back from John Cena. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with him next. Are they just going to continue on with Drew McIntyre? Are we going to switch it up? Is he going to have a different opponent, maybe at Survivor Series? Is he even going to have a one-on-one championship match at Survivor Series? As usually he gets pulled into the Survivor Series match itself, or the War Games match that happens. Obviously the 4v4, the 5v5. So, interested to see what happens next. If he does face Drew at Survivor Series, it has to be Drew winning, right? If there is, that third matchup, because that would be the third championship match for Drew, which, by the way, ever since Drew won during the COVID years, yes, that was his last, real run. Yeah, he won it at WrestleMania 24, but only held it for, 5 minutes or so. Drew has lost so many big-time championship matches, many times he lost to Roman. He lost to Seth Rollins so many times before winning it at Mania. He lost it to Priest so many times. I don't think he ever faced Gunther he did for the IC title. Losing to Cody so many times. It has just been loss after loss after loss for Drew in these big time moments, post-COVID and post having crowds actually back. So I'm just very interested in like Triple H's mindset of like why not put the championship on Drew when the fans really want it. Like you'd say you pay attention to what the fans want sometimes. Obviously not, bro. Like if you just pay attention, do 5-10 minutes of research, it looks like the fans obviously want Drew over Cody right now. But I'm not Triple H. I'm not a booker. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see what plays on forward. I really hope Drew gets another shot and wins it at Survivor Series. Maybe so because that's a bigger scale. You know, it's an actual true PLE. It's a bigger, I guess just a bigger scale in general. It would be on ESPN too. So I think that would maybe a better route there. But yeah, Cody Rhodes retaining over Drew once again. So let's go on to the next one. The second match of the night was Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's WWE Championship. Jade Cargill recently turning heel, so there was no doubt in my mind she had to win this. This was a make or break match for Jade Cargill. She had to win this. And honestly, she dominated. It was kind of a squash match in a way, but she dominated. Tiffany kind of leaned into that knee injury, so I'm interested to see if she's going to be taking any time off going forward. I think she could use a little bit off, just take a little time off. Obviously, I think Tiffany also needs to come back and rework that character. Like, the babyface stuff was I think she's better as a heel. Same with Jade Cargill. She definitely looked way better as a heel. And they definitely presented her slightly different in ring. She just dominated, man. And she finally, she hit powerbomb after powerbomb. She was freaking doing suplex after suplex. She hit Jaded finally. Got the 1, 2, 3. New champ. New women's champ. Which is good, though. I think it's a good shakeup for Friday Night SmackDown. Just there's really not too many people that she can go against right now unless you want to go against Nia Jax again. We need Bianca Belair back. I've been saying it week after week on here, guys. We need a shakeup on SmackDown. I'm thinking, Jordan Grace coming up, Lash Legend coming up, even Chelsea Green may be getting involved in the WWE Championship picture. So I just think they need a good shakeup though on Friday Night SmackDown in that women's upper, higher world championship level, division. So we'll interested to see now with the new women's champ. Maybe that kind of shifts things around a little. So we shall see going forward. The third match of the night was Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Rusev. Triple threat, Intercontinental Championship on the line. Obviously, Dom has defended against Rusev and is one of those ones. He's also defended against Penta a couple times. So now we're just combining all of them into one triple threat. This was a pretty, fast-paced match. I really do like triple threats for the most part. Dom ended up bringing a chair into the ring at one point, forgetting that's a triple threat, so it's legal for him to use a chair, and he tosses it to Rusev, trying to do the typical Eddie move. And then the ref's like, what are you talking about, dude? Fight. It's a triple threat. That's legal. And so Rusev hits him with the chair. There was many points where you thought Rusev was going to win. You thought Penta was going to win. But in the end, Dominic Mysterio retaining his Intercontinental Championship. He is still the double champ with the Mega Campeon. So interested to see what is going forward. I really, really hope we're getting that John Cena, Dominic Mysterio matchup at Survivor Series potentially for the IC title. I feel like that's what everybody wants going forward, but it's interesting to see who he truly is going to lose this title to, though. If it's not a John Cena, if it's not a Finn Balor, who is it? Is it, I truly don't know right now. Alrighty, guys, so the main event of the night, though, was CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, Seth Rollins had to vacate his title after getting injured once again. This match was a little rough in some patches, but CM Punk, in my opinion, very much carried this match. Obviously, I'm a Punk girl through and through. Was really excited to see that he won. New World Heavyweight Champ again, so it's going to be interesting to see this on Raw going forward. They did trade a couple finishers. Jay ended up hitting CM Punk with the GTS. Punk hit him with a pretty ugly looking spear. But it was an okay match overall. I really thought that Jay was going to win in some very certain moments. I thought he was going to get the win somehow. And then we're going to continue to ride with him, maybe turning heel. But they did get a crazy shot after the match when CM Punk's in the corner raising the title. And Jay's on the floor kind of against the barricades. And that is like a heel moment because later on, or this morning or whatever, Jey Uso posted that exact image like on his Instagram saying y'all won with that middle finger emoji. So interested to see if we're going to get a true heel Jey Uso going forward. I think CM Punk winning the title definitely opens up a lot of doors, though. He can feud with LA Knight straight out the gate. He can continue feuding with Jay. He can have matches with, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, obviously. I'm sure that division is going to interrupt him on Monday Night Raw. I'm sure that maybe even Jay will. So there's a couple different people that we can have matches straight out the gate with him. So very interested and very excited that CM Punk is our new World Heavyweight Champion. I feel like, again, there's a lot of avenues that we can go. Now, going forward, WWE is obviously focused on Survivor Series at the end of the month. We're less than 4 weeks away from that now. Survivor Series is on my birthday on November 29th, so that's going to be really awesome. Hope the card is very, very stacked for that, as that's one of the big, 4 major PLEs for WWE. But a couple other things I want to touch on from WWE this past week. Ilya Dragunov continuing that U.S. Championship Open Challenge. Super excited to continue that on each week. This week he had Nathan Fraser come to answer out, and as he was making his way in, Ciampa freaking comes out, storms out, and is like, "You're really going to give him a match, blah, blah, blah." And so they end up fighting, blah, 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 whatever. But Ilya Dragunov is like, well, he was here first. So Ilya Dragunov versus Nathan Fraser was an absolute banger, dude. I remember seeing some clips of their match from NXT a couple years ago. So I knew this was going to be an absolute banger, and it was. Ilya Dragunov is just absolutely killing it. He's, in my opinion, continuing on what Sami Zayn was doing, really elevating the U.S. title, and just continuing to give us banger after banger after banger each week. You don't really need storylines sometimes. You just need a good match. Give me a little promo beforehand. Let them come out, say a couple things, and boom, go at it. So very excited to see what continues on for Ilya Dragunov. Another thing I want to mention is Carmelo Hayes and The Miz's feud definitely is continuing as The Miz gets involved in Melo's business this week on SmackDown after he beat Kit Wilson. The Miz gets in the ring to attack Melo and tells him, "This is it over. It's over when I say so." I'm sure we're going to get a big time matchup between Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. And a lot of people think Melo could be a contender to be John Cena's last match. So I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all. So interested to see what's going to happen going forward. Also mentioning John Cena, we will have a tournament to determine John Cena's final match. A 16-man tournament. People from Monday Night Raw, NXT, Friday Night SmackDown, and John Cena even said maybe people that don't work at WWE. So I'm obviously thinking TNA, Joe Hendry potentially, a Nick Nemeth, Mike Santana. There's definitely a couple names in there. NXT people, potentially like a Oba Femi, Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Javon Evans. SmackDown, people like The Miz, I think, was featured, Melo, Sami Zayn. Obviously, Gunther is set to return, I think, pretty soon. So a lot of people want Gunther in there. I personally would like a very young talent that he's never faced, like a Oba Femi, Braun Breaker, a Dom if he doesn't face Dom at Survivor Series. So I think there's definitely a lot of good options still. I personally don't want Gunther. I've said it many times already. Not a big Gunther fan in general. I just don't think it really makes sense. Obviously, though, winning a tournament, it doesn't have to make sense. You just win the tournament, and then you get the match with Cena. So that makes you a star in itself. But interested to see who's all going to be in the bracket. I'm sure we'll find out. Not this Monday, well, maybe this Monday, but November 10th is when this tournament is set to start. A little bit of NXT news. Jasper Troy defeated Axiom to advance as El Grande Americana for the WWE Men's Speed Championship. Also, the new women's NXT champion Tatum Paxley came to address the crowd, and she came out with a giant wheel with a bunch of names on it from NXT, I think AAA as well, and TNA. And she basically spun a wheel and said, "All right, whoever lands on, you get a championship match tonight." And boom, she's going to continue on some type of open challenge, it seems, or, spin the wheel challenge, whoever it lands on. And Izzy Dan was not feeling that at all, but very interested to see what they're going to do with Tatum Paxley. Very well deserved championship win, I believed. JC Jane had a really good run also, so hats off to JC Jane. She had an incredible run. Interested to see what they're going to do with her, too. Is she someone that gets sent up to the main roster? As they've been saying it for months and weeks, months, whatever you want to say, that NXT is going to have some big-time call-ups. So I think they just need to send up, 6 people or something like that. I don't know. Send 3, 4 to SmackDown. Send some to Monday Night Raw. Shake some things up, especially on the women's side of things on SmackDown and like the tag division. We had the new Women's Evolve champion, Kendall Gray, against Lash Legend, and Kendall Gray got the win. Big-time win for herself. I don't know why Lash Legend is still down in NXT just taking losses like that, though. Like, send her to the main roster already. Like, she would fit perfectly on SmackDown right now. And then Sol Ruka obviously had already vacated her NXT North American Championship. But now she had to vacate the women's speed title, so I'm sure they'll do a little tournament for that as well. And they continue to kind of play into Sol versus Zarya, so interested to see where that's going to land at. Obviously, Blake Monroe is the new women's North American champion as well. After losing at Halloween Havoc, Trick Williams is still demanding another NXT title opportunity, coming out on this past week's episode of NXT, just getting out there in the ring, demanding it. Ricky Saints was pretty quick to be like, let's freaking go, He's always down for a fight. They did have a pretty good match at Halloween Havoc, so I'm down to see it once again. But I feel like this might be one of the last things that Trick Williams does in NXT, as I truly believe he's ready to go to the main roster. He's basically done everything he can in NXT, same as Obafemi. Like, you have 2 really big talents right there ready to go to the main roster. And I also could say the same thing with Lash Legend, even though she hasn't really won anything or won a championship in NXT. I still think she's ready to go to the main roster. And Jordynne Grace as well. So you have 2 women and 2 men right there ready to go either on SmackDown or on Monday Night Raw that you could throw in, and they could definitely help elevate either division. And we've been talking for months now that NXT has been saying, or there's been these rumors of these big-time NXT call-ups, but the only 2 still have been Stephanie and Julia. Now, with Ilya Dragunov returning from injury and winning the U.S. title in his first match, that kind of, shows like, hey, maybe, they can do it. Maybe they can do these NXT call-ups and it be successful. Yeah, Ilya was delayed a year because of his injury, but he was definitely on a upward path. He was going to be doing something in his first few months on the main roster. So I'm definitely interested to see, first off, NXT deadline is going to be the beginning of December. So interested to see that's where NXT's, focus is going to be looking forward. New women's champ in NXT as well, and new North American champ. So 2 new women's champ in NXT. Interested to see what feuds we're going to get there. And then obviously with the whole Ricky Saints and Trick Williams stuff, still kind of interested to see how that's going to play out. And then Ethan Page has just, been continuing to put on banger after banger. He's had some great feuds with that NXT North American Championship. And then Dark State back with the tag title, so interested to see what they do next. Overall, WWE having another pretty successful week, looking towards Survivor Series. Like I said, now we have some things announced for Monday Night Raw coming forward as well. So we shall be seeing what happens going forward. Make sure you guys are tuning in. Again, make sure you guys go follow my new TikTok account, Keeping Tabs 2.0, as my original account is banned right now. Hopefully we get it back up and running, but go follow the new account if you want to see some daily content from your girl Tabs. As always, thank you so much for joining the Keeping Tabs podcast. Please let me know any of your feedback down in the comments. Share this out, like it up if you can. And as always, don't forget to be keeping tabs.